Okay. Meeting order, Griggs County Commission, May 6, 2021. We stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, John.
Present.
Scott.
Present.
Mark is absent. Stephanie is present by Zoom. Dale is present. I'm gonna look over the agenda.
There was only one thing that got added since I sent it to you last night. Kelly would like to be on the agenda to talk about the clerk of court contract. Or the clerk of court, sorry, grant, the courtroom grant, sorry. That.
Wasn't a hanging offense.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
With the,
With the addition of clerk of court Kelly Vincent.
a motion by Scott to approve the agenda with the addition of courtroom grant. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by John. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval of the April 22nd meeting minutes.
I think on the top of page 3, schedule of fee, I think it's supposed to be fees, not a deal.
Schedule of
I think it's
fees.
plural, I believe.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Motion by Scott.
Dispersed for the reading.
Motion by Scott to approve the minutes as presented and dispense with the reading. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by John. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Take a look at the bills.
If you look at page 5, there is a bill for NDSU grant and contract. That is for the old courthouse building. I have it coming out of general courthouse. I wasn't really sure what fund you wanted to take that out of, so that's where I have it coming out of right now.
What was the amount?
3,128. And then also on page,
Is that the balance of the contract?
that was for that guy to do that
Right,
NDSU.
yeah, but
yep.
we agreed to like $7,000
I
or
think
something,
so.
and that's the balance.
Yep. And then if you look at page 12, there is a Griggs County Council of Aging for $31,016. That is that $30,000 that you guys approved at the last meeting to go out. We transferred it from that COVID fund into theirs, and it's going to be dispersed on this one.
And the 1,000 is their portion of the tax revenue.
Of the tax revenue, yes, correct. Yep.
How much do you get a year, John, total?
They get 2 mills.
2 mills.
2 mils a year,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
And of course, that's,
Not a lot,
well, but then now with everything that's gonna be
okay.
put on them here with this.
Yeah,
Wow.
no. Okay.
And then, of course, that's the most
I got
susceptible group in our.
Questions on this one
Okay.
from Harold?
Yep.
Have we not paid him?
We have
since-
not paid him for.
Has he not submitted us a bill
Correct.
for the last 4 years?
Correct.
So it appears like this bill here we have is for 14, 15, and the 2,600 doesn't even, what's that for?
I think.
Single audit, it says.
I think this one we haven't paid him since 18. I think so. I think this is for 2 years.
I know, but in an itemized bill, it's for 15, 14, and 15, isn't it, Dale? And then
Yeah.
2,600 says single audit, but there's no date on it.
Okay. So you
We
want?
need it itemized,
Okay.
and we need to get. So from there forward, he hasn't been paid either?
Why doesn't he submit for payment to us?
Don't know.
Well, I mean, without, we don't have money. Of course, why would he know that? He's the auditor. We don't have money floating around in each year's fund to pay fees that were allocated years ago.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause that pushes the audit budget over.
Maybe he wants something to fix on every year's audit.
What is this here? I didn't miss this. What's this?
So then we have a $10,000 invoice here for,
What page is that on? For all?
no, it's back here.
For page 5 on the bottom.
Five.
Yeah.
For audits, for our
Oh,
auditing
that's it here.
services, and it appears like he's billing us for 14 and 15. And I think the 2,600 must be for 16, but it doesn't even show, it just says single audit. So which means that he hasn't presented a bill for 17, 18, 19, 20.
Who is this guy? Just,
Harold Rotunda, he's our
auditor.
He audits my books.
Oh,
So he makes sure that I'm in,
Oh,
that everything
okay.
balances between Connie's office and my office.
and he's out of where?
Fargo.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I think he's out of Fargo.
Okay.
Man, is that,
Huh.
that's kind of ironic.
It's kind of weird that you,
Like,
most guys, especially auditor.
Well, that's the ironic part
Must-
with it.
Must be a good business or he doesn't need any money. Maybe he's a real good auditor.
So I don't know what we do with this.
Can you look back and see what has been paid?
Oh,
I looked back and I believe when we looked back it was 18 was the last time we paid him.
and what did we pay for?
Okay, let's go in.
Well, put it this way, we just need to have him present us with a statement of account.
Okay.
His statement of account, and then we need to compare it with what we have paid.
Is it the same every year just about? Or
Mhm. Should be.
If it goes back to 14, you guys probably have never paid an audit. So you wouldn't even know.
No, we've discussed this before and told him to, yeah, we've pushed him before, and we have paid him funds in the past.
Mhm.
We just,
9,000.
Hmm.
Show that to Scott. That's a 7-year-old account.
and it appears like it was, he's asking for monies for 14 and 15, and
15.
then this 2,600 is, it just says single audit, but doesn't even give a date.
But
Yeah, we haven't paid. We paid him in 2016
last time.
for 3,700, and we haven't paid him since then.
But what was that? Do we have an invoice on that? Well,
Yes, I would have the.
so that was probably for 2013.
Yeah.
Was he paid in 15 and 14 too then?
No.
This is a billing for 14,
No, but I mean,
15.
in our books, was he paid?
Let's go back.
Well, we can't pay what we're not presented with. I mean, that's, but when you're presented with something that's 7 years,
Here we go again. I- That's weird.
4,
that's one way to describe it.
0.
Huh, okay.
0. He was paid in 14, 14, 14, 16.
But we don't know which years the payment was. for.
So he must
We'd
have
to
gotten
go back-
behind on that
we'd
one
go out and
too.
look. We'd have to go back and look. We need a statement of account from him.
Okay.
Maybe we're just dealing with a very tax conscious accountant.
Could be. He's doing some serious income averaging here.
All right.
So I don't know how we deal with that.
And then there was one on an add-on one if we can. I know you guys didn't like add-ons, but Wayne got this one in the mail. It's for the Inter-Community Telephone Company for $150.
911.
So if we
Same every month.
yeah. So if we could get that one added.
Will it be late to be paid in the next one?
There wasn't any due date on the invoice, but
Then we meet again, so it can be added to the next one too.
yeah.
I agree. I thought we settled this, if they weren't presented at the time of the meeting, that they made it to the next meeting.
Especially if it's not gonna be late. I mean, if there's no late fees or anything, then it's no rush. It'd be different to be met once a month, but we don't, so.
So, should I make a motion to approve the bills except for the Herald's rotundas? Or do you want to table that to next time? Is that what we want to do with that? Okay. And then,
To you, you're making the
you
motion.
know, let's table that till we find the statements from him.
Okay.
And then we'll take that last, the ITC bill, and we'll do it to next month's thing. Does that make sense?
So you wanna approve the bills as
Presented.
presented, less Harold Rotundas?
Correct, yeah.
And then we're not adding the
Not in our ad, not anyway, so.
I'll
okay.
second that.
Okay, motion by Scott to approve the vouchers as presented with the exception of Harold Rotunda until we get some more information. And seconded by John. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Stephanie?
Aye.
Dale votes aye. Motion carries.
Can we go to the beer and liquor license really quick so that then Maddie can come and grab all of that and contact those people as well?
Sure.
We do have the beer and liquor license for the Sutton Pub. We did talk just a little bit about that on the last meeting, but there is new owners. So we said that the liquor license follows the owner, so then they are wanting 6 months worth.
Liquor license follows the manager.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Something, yeah, the building, so,
Yep.
yeah. So
So this will be for 6 months. Yeah.
which way does that work, Jamie? Do they have to present us with the state license first, or is that the secondary part
I
of
think they
that?
should have to, the state license, I think, does a background check.
That's correct.
So
I was under the assumption that was first,
I would think so.
but I don't know that.
Let me do a little research
Mhm.
here.
Oh, I've
Hmm.
never presented anything like that, but it's always been just, I present this and then they have to do their state stuff and.
Right.
Maybe the state doesn't perform the background check until they know that they're gonna get approved on the county level.
That's probably it. I can't remember for sure.
Because I think at the last time we approved these, we actually
Yeah,
sent this
you're right.
to.
And ours gets done first.
Okay.
Copy of the beer and or liquor license issued from the local county or city or travel authority.
Yeah, I'll make a motion, we approve the beer and liquor license as presented.
Motion by John to approve the beer and liquor license for Sutton Pub.
Yep.
Is there a second?
I can second.
Second by Stephanie. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same
Aye.
sign. Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Thank you. Do you want to tell her that those did not get approved?
Not approved.
These are approved.
Approved. Liquor license?
Your license is here.
Approved.
Yes.
Approved, approved.
Thank you. Okay.
So I have a look at the monthly office reports.
on it, or will they have you sign it for the? Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve the monthly office reports.
Motion by Scott to approve the monthly office reports as presented. Is there a second?
I'll second
I'll
that.
second.
Second by Stephanie. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Wayne.
Sit by Jamie. At the last meeting, there was questions as to whether we had funding to complete that restroom. And after we got the printout at the end of the month, there is $2,859.76 in the building repairs fund. I asked for quotes from Larson and from Cody Hoyt. Cody Hoyt gave me an estimate of $750 to finish wiring, hook up to the hot water heater and outlets and the lights and stuff. So there still would be $2,109.76 in that account. So that should be plenty to finish that.
And that was allocated for this year, so
Yeah.
you have control of
Yep.
that money.
Okay, then Tuesday, April 27th, Commissioner Dale Peterson Leo Johnson, representative of Griggs County Central School, and I met with representatives of North Dakota DOT and Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad. Kind of to do a field crossing diagnostic study. We met at the crossing 10.5 miles south of Cooperstown. The school has concerns with visibility at this crossing, with like crossing arms and lights. Main concern is a hill that partially blocks the view from the east. Also when it's foggy or snowy, can't see far enough to cross safely. They took our concerns down and will examine the concerns with other crossings and determine if this qualifies for cross arms. The cost would be around $225,000, which 90% is paid by them and 10% would be paid by the county. They will let us know one way or the other what they decide. If it isn't picked for this year, they would keep it in the findings and it may be chosen later. But there's a lot of crossings that they had to go to and
This is the one by
Evaluate.
Matt Hoggins.
pardon?
Is it by Matt Hoggins you're talking about?
Yeah, or
North of Matt Hoggins there.
Yep.
Yep, I know. Yeah. I drive the bus route once in a while. That road actually. So I know what she's talking about. I
I
know.
think it's funded by is it the state or federal government? It's their
Yep.
competitively bid or
Okay.
ranked, so they
They're
look at,
ranked by the
I don't know how they
need or whatever.
decide whether this one's more dangerous than
The rest.
one other one, or if they don't do traffic studies or car counts. I don't know how they rank them, but the guy thought maybe 2022,
Possibly.
because we'd been out and looked at that crossing,
Before.
yeah, several years ago.
The DOT has annual federal funds available for safety enhancement projects, such as rail, highway, and grade crossings.
In the meantime, they still stop, full stop at all school, at all.
Yes,
yeah.
yes, we're required by law to stop. Turn the lights on, open the door up, the whole thing, so.
We'll just have to keep in mind, we should possibly budget.
That, the routes change, over time,
Sure.
So right now we go south and pick up those kids, and then we go over and we come back the Karnak Road and go, of course it's crossing there by Karnak Elevator and then go north. So they will, but that's probably, of the two crossings, it's that one, which got a cross arms at Karnak, and then the one we talked about, of the two, so.
We just have to keep in mind, we need to budget some money in case it happens to become approved during the next budget cycle. That's-
Yeah.
That's it. Anything else?
Thanks, Wayne.
Thanks, Wayne.
Thank you, guys.
Kelly, you're next.
Okay, I just have for the reimbursement for the grant. I'm sorry, it's kind of, I got copies for you guys if you want to see it also. The project was completed about a month ago, and
Okay.
yesterday I was like, oh, let's get this reimbursement in. So that's all it is. It's just that letter requesting a 75% reimbursement from the state for our court facility grant. I had Christy double check my math, make sure that was right. So if you approve to send in for reimbursement, I just need you to sign that letter and I'll send that off.
I'll make a motion that we approve the reimbursement as presented.
Motion by John to request reimbursement for the courtroom grant from the State Court Facilities Improvement Advisory Committee. Is there a second?
I'll second
Seconded by Scott. Is Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
It's good, it's awesome equipment.
Is it nice?
Yeah, it's, Connie's really enjoyed it with her waterboard meetings too. I'll make a copy and give you one.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Julie.
Thanks,
Thank
Kelly.
you.
Jamie.
Second amendment?
Yes.
What I drafted for you guys is, looking for some approval for a Second Amendment proclamation for the county. It's kind of more of a feel-good situation for the county and for the citizens. It's a copy of what the state has already passed. During this session, the state passed a law that, would make it illegal for law enforcement to help the feds do a gun grab in the state if that ever were to happen. So this is actually a copy of the governor's proclamation, to be used for the county, I guess. I would urge you guys to sign it. I guess I should talk about the origin of it. Doug Johnson from Sutton was the first one to contact me about it, and then a couple of commissioners up in Nelson County contacted me about doing it, so we did it up there and signed it yesterday, and I figured as long as we were doing it up there and we were doing the work, we might as well bring it down here and do it. And I think I haven't spoken with any citizens. I actually, this morning, just kind of to gauge a little interest, I posted the Nelson County proclamation on Facebook that we passed it, and it seems like there was quite a bit of interest there, and I would guess the same in Griggs County.
I can't imagine anybody disagreeing with preserving the rights that we already have. And it seems a pretty sorry state of affairs that we have to proclaim that the rights that we have, are, that we intend to keep them. I don't understand. I don't understand how we've gotten to this point, but I'm all in favor of this resolution. That's for certain. I'll make a motion we approve the resolution as presented.
Motion by John to approve the Second Amendment sanctuary resolution for Griggs County. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Stephanie. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you, Jamie.
One kind of offspin of this, there was an individual that contacted one of our commissioners up in Nelson County about some immigration things that is floating around North Dakota. Nelson County is looking into also doing something like, that would take a stance against what's going on with the border. And if Griggs County would like to follow suit, I'll continue researching that for both counties and go ahead and do that as well.
Well, I mean, it would certainly, can't make a decision on that, but it would certainly be worthwhile having it presented on a factual basis.
Okay. Oh, and I should also say, Wes would have been here today to also be in support of the Second Amendment sanctuary proclamation. His dad has COVID and is in pretty tough shape down in the city, so Wes is down with his family right now.
But he was in favor of
He
the
was
resolution.
strongly in favor of it.
Thank you so much.
How many counties have done this so far?
There are quite a few counties, it's gaining some traction. There are quite a few counties out west that have done something a little more aggressive. But this proclamation is pretty much an exact copy of what the state did. And I think that's a little bit safer. Some of those proclamations that they've done on the west side of the county could potentially get them into some funding problems from the feds. So, I kind of slow played this. We've been talking about it for a couple months until I could find a proclamation that would not put us in a situation where we'd have to worry about funding.
Well, I mean, certainly so, but if push comes to shove, people's rights, in my opinion, far take precedence over funding.
Oh, absolutely. And I guess in this situation, Wes and I have had discussions. Wes has kind of laughed and just said, I'm not gonna, people have Second Amendment rights, I'm not gonna go help the feds grab people's guns. And I would support Wes in that too. I'm not gonna do that as a state's attorney.
Mm-hmm.
We took an oath of office, and I think that would, if it came to that situation, I think that would be going against that oath.
Mm-hmm. Again, it's a sort of state of affairs that we have to even be talking about this. But we are, and thank you for bringing it up, Jamie.
Yeah, thanks, Jamie.
Yeah.
Tax director, do we have any bites on our ad?
It's still running though.
On the website. Yep.
They accepted our sales ratio study yet?
No,
Upload.
I haven't been able to upload it because I was in contact with the state on how to get it done and whatever, and they told me to hold off for a moment, and they were going to call me back, and they have not yet called me back, so I'm kind of in
Okay.
a pause right now.
Mm-hmm.
Old courthouse, new courthouse.
Nothing.
Nothing?
And yes, you never got back to us.
Nope.
Hmm.
Great.
Any future business?
Would you guys like to talk about I put the burn ban on the agenda for the next meeting for 2 weeks. Do you guys want to just continue to have that be on the agenda every meeting until?
I guess I'd like to have it on there and just discuss it,
Okay, so every agenda
That's
kind
my
of
opinion,
be
but
a permanent
you guys
thing
can
on
do-
there for a little while.
yeah.
I can tell you guys, and this isn't gonna speak favorably for the burn ban, but trying to enforce that thing in Nelson County and figure it out has been a living nightmare for me. It's probably been the most stressful month of being the state's attorney I've ever had, because we've failed. It's been something I've been angry about, because the biggest concern is getting notification out to people.
I hate to say I told you so, Jamie, but yeah.
Well, I actually during yesterday's meeting, I don't know I don't know. All I can say is it's been an absolute nightmare, and it's sucked because I've had people on both sides all over me, and it isn't fun.
So the problem is that if there's a violation, try to figure out who's in violation? Is that
No,
part of it or
no,
not, or-
it's
No.
so.
The problem is you shouldn't be telling people what they can do.
Well,
It's the problem.
the biggest problem with it is notification, because
Okay.
Facebook isn't a proper way to get notifications. So, and if it changes from one day to the next, and the majority of farmers, the majority of the older farmers who are doing the burning, or who are participating in burning, but they're not technologically advanced, so they don't sit on their iPhones and look at the fire danger status, and it's just, and I have people upset at me on both sides, and it sucks. Like it's literally, I've been a state's attorney for June will be 8 years, and it's been the longest month of my life up there dealing with that.
Next time you want to impose regulations on people, remember this.
It's, I shouldn't even say it, but it sucked, and everybody's upset with each other.
Yep.
The biggest problem is notifying people. In all seriousness, people, and with it changing, but we've pulled some audibles that the county has and went from a partial burn ban to a full burn ban, and it happened to be the nicest Saturday of the year to burn, and that was the day afterwards, and everybody thought we were still in the old burn ban. So we had 6 violations and fire trucks going all over, and firemen upset because they're being called to 2-acre slough fires that were surrounded by black fields, and it just was it's been a mess. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know if it's fixable, but all I know is it's been the worst month I've had in 8 years of being state's attorney, and that's saying something.
Well, you know, the fix is rain.
No, if you leave it up to the judgment of the people doing the burning, then you're not gonna have the fire department at the first sign of smoke dispatched to every fire.
And that's what's happened. So
Yeah,
It's
of
okay to
course.
just call when you see fire.
people are called. I mean, and it happens in Griggs County too, because everybody thought everybody had a burn
Burn
ban.
ban.
So they're calling it in right away. They see a fire and they call it in, and so burn bans actually, to a point, have been worse for the fire departments because they get called out to every little fire because
Absolutely.
everybody sees, well, there's a burn ban. Not supposed to be burning. This is dangerous. So, especially if you have a busy highway, Highway 200, Highway 1, Highway 2,
15.
the do-gooders that are driving by, they don't know any better, and they
Call it.
so up in Nelson County, we've tried to impress upon people to call law enforcement center before they do any controlled burns, because at least that helps a little bit. But some people forget sometimes, and fire departments are running all over.
So a measure to relieve the stress on the fire departments created more stress in the fire departments.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I've been on the end of a lot of angry people, phone calls.
So do we want to not talk about the burn ban at the next meeting?
Doesn't sound like we want to talk about it.
Or should we just leave it at
So,
an advisory and we'll just...
I can I mean, that's the bad thing about this whole situation is I understand the danger, but
Both sides.
I don't know how to fix it, and I don't know if there's a way to fix it. So I can kind of laugh at it. I mean, I kind of laugh at it because I realize how big of a shit show it was in Nelson County. I mean, it literally was. And I'm angry about it. I mean, like I said, it's been the most contentious thing I've had. I would say Ronnie Brozart has made me nervous more than the burn ban, but anything else, I don't think it ever has.
Okay, so the situation we've been under in Griggs County for the last 3 weeks has proven that the residents have the best idea on when they should burn and when they shouldn't, because we haven't had any problems. Nothing's got burnt up that shouldn't have got burnt up. No one's been hurt.
And I don't know what
There
the fire
hasn't been-
department, how often the fire department's been called out, but I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
Ideally, if you're gonna burn a slough, you'd call the fire department, say, I'm gonna burn this slough,
Yeah, I'm telling them.
and tell them, and
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
need to,
And people do that, and
Yeah.
they do that. Again, if
I think that would be the best. So a story of what happened, kind of what's been happening in Nelson County, it just hasn't worked well. Last Saturday it was Red Flag Day, but our emergency manager posted on Facebook the wrong day she posted Thursday's fire danger warning for Saturday's fire danger warning. So 2 individuals from the fire department actually went to burn a junk pile, and they had looked, and they had actually brought a fire truck out to this. Started the fire, got called in, and all the reports sitting on my desk for a burn ban violation. And I had a fire truck out there. So that's how complicated it is. I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is.
you're starting to get there.
I'm not quite to the stage of letting you tell me I told you so.
No.
See, you're close though.
But I'm not complaining about my decision. No, it's complicated, Jimmy.
It's just difficult for everybody to get on the same page, and
That's been the worst thing, you know.
it'd be way easier if it was no burn at all, then
So
there's no questions.
I tried to compromise, or we thought that was the right thing to compromise and to allow people to burn when it was safe. Well, when it was the safest to burn. But then when you have people miscommunicating things and people checking it out and then going and burning, and all of a sudden it's not. You're not supposed to be burning. I don't know. And
You're talking
nothing's-
about Nelson County.
Nelson County.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, we did that. We allowed people to burn when it was safe to burn. We left it in their best judgment, and it's worked out.
And there is actually provision in the law if you start a fire and it gets out of control.
Absolutely.
There is a provision in the law to charge people.
Absolutely.
There is actually, so.
So I don't think we need it back on the agenda.
Okay,
Well, I don't
we'll just
know.
keep it at the advisory and we don't have to
Well,
even lift
we
that.
can have it on the agenda, it just.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we can, if it looks like it's time to take it off, we can add it on the agenda before the meeting. I guess that, either way it works, so.
Can I add one thing maybe to talk about later on?
Mhm.
I'm kind of concerned about the sheriff's department and stuff being kind of running short. You know, Wes is gone again, his dad, you know. And then and also when Shane was out DC and, you know, National Guard thing, you know. So I think we're stretched kind of thin on that end of it, you know.
That's a budget issue. That's a budget issue.
I know that, I'm just saying that, but
So that-
maybe,
that'll
maybe,
be- that'll
maybe
be on
something
the
to bring up
topic,
later
but-
on, you know.
No, that'll be a topic at the
Okay.
budget time.
Okay.
That's that, because it all depends on how much we're gonna spend and what.
Okay.
takes place.
And I think they get coverage from,
Steele County
Steele
right
County.
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
yep, they help each other out,
Yeah,
and,
so,
But that's certainly a budget issue.
you know.
okay,
So it's on the agenda.
okay.
And budgets will be sent out on May 11th to department heads, so that will be coming soon.
Mhm.
Anything else for the good of the order?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Scott to adjourn, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Stephanie. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Pose same sign, motion carries. Meeting is adjourned on May 6th at 3:20 PM. Next meeting is May 20th at 2:30 in this room.